For those of you that have just tuned in, this is Marcio. In fact, state your name for the camera. State your name for the camera.
My name is Marcio Salvador, but in the dance community, I'm Marcio Ratinho. Born in Portugal, born in Angola, raised in Portugal, man. Like, it's been so long. I started dancing in 2008 in Lisbon. I lived in UK, I lived in Denmark, I lived in Norway, and I'm in Sweden. But the big jump of my dance career was in UK when I moved from 2011 to 2013. It was when I spent time with my crew at the time was Plague and spent time around Prototype.
Yes.
That is me. Shout out to Plague, Prototype. Peace the power.
And you just literally went from strength to strength, carried on dancing, and now your career is at the point where...
Yeah, I always wanted to dance for singer. Like, I have that dreams, but at the same time, I always wanted to be good by myself, like as individual, skill set. I want to be good, I want to be proud. And I remember when I would see some dancers back in the days that have workshop of the dancer, of the singer, you know what I mean? Like, okay, so you dance for Neo, workshop with Neo dancer. I said to myself, like, I don't want that. I want March's workshop. I don't want my workshop be attached to a singer, to anything. So I always decide, like, okay, I will try to be as best as possible on my own craft. And that period was competitions, do battles. Compete, do battles, and then you learn how to judge, and then you learn how to teach. But I dedicated my dance career on the battle scene. And now, like, I don't battle regular for the last 5 years, since 2020. But it's like 3 surgeries on my knees, personal decisions. But I think I'm satisfied with what I've been doing for the last 16 years. I'm just like super proud of my journey, super proud. But I just think it's different, everything now.
So now that you've kind of transitioned from being a competitive dancer to a non-competitive dancer, what would be the advice you would say? Because I know that it's difficult to go from that stage mentally.
Yeah.
You know, when you feel like you're going to a room as someone that's going to battle and feel like you can take everybody on, to where you're not battling and it's hard to deal with. What advice would you give to dancers to how to cope with that transition of going from one stage of their career, being active maybe, to not being active or doing something else? How would you tell dancers to cope with that?
Be honest with yourself and accept that change will come. It took me time to accept that I cannot battle anymore as a regular I used to, because I like to compete. Hit my ego, you know, sit at home watching YouTube, like got the feeling that you still can compete against the best, but then you know that, at least in my case, I want to go there in practice. I want to compete because I practice. I cannot just go to a competition just to... Nah, I need to practice. So for me, practice always means, if I practice, I'm ready to compete. And once my body wasn't able to help me to develop practice, I was like, no, I cannot do this. So it was just be honest, accept that the change will come. Be proud of what you did, fam. I start to be proud, I start to be happy. It's like, accept. So my message to the dancer when they change, and is a respect, fam. Like having a full-time job or going away from your dance, it's a slap in the face. It's a slap in the face. I cry. I'm like, now I'm a father. I work, like, I think this is the first interview that I say, I work in the kitchen serving food. I was slapping, like in my mind I was thinking like, yo, I'm Marcio, I travel, I do this. How I'm not financially sustainable to live only with hip hop. Okay, my decisions wasn't the correct ones in terms of business. I did decisions in terms of, I want to get better on my craft, but not in the business. Okay, cool. Cry, accept. You have a daughter now. That is something bigger than you. But don't feel...
regret.
Don't regret.
No.
Feel sad. Like, accept the sadness. It's sad, but it's okay, because it's part of life. For you to be happy, you need to be sad. There's not another way.
Yeah, you can't understand what happiness is if you've not experienced sadness.
Yeah.
And accepting your lot in life, I suppose, like accepting where you are at that point. because it is difficult. I know that myself from being a dancer, and then like looking at, and even when you go to do a move, you're like, man, I've slowed down. You can feel that you've slowed down.
And you know, it's not hard when you're at home watching people and you still think like, yeah, but I can dance against this person.
Yeah,
you know?
it's like
it's the worst feeling ever. Watching people competing and you think like you still can win against them.
Yeah, because you remember the person you were.
Yes.
Not the person you are. You remember the person
Yes.
you are. You're like, I was fast. I'm fast. It's like, I'm not fast no more.
But you like, that's why I'm smiling. You just be proud of that. Like, I'm super proud, fam. Like, no shame. I'm super proud of the decisions that I did. It's a shame that I cannot be sustainable with dance. Yes, it is a shame. But I wouldn't change nothing. Nothing.
You wouldn't have your daughter if you changed anything. This is the thing. So where it has brought you to now is where you are now.
Yeah.
So,
and having goals, like when we talk about competing with the young ones, I come from football world. So for me, competing, it's natural, fam. Like before being a dancer, I was a football player.
right.
So training, have a goal. I just talked with my student, I told her like, okay, set up goals. When is the next battle that you're gonna do? Is this one? Okay, so practice with the goal for that battle. Like, make sure that you're ready. How many rounds do you need for a competition? I need 6 rounds. All right, so how do you prepare your body for 6 rounds? Make goals. Just go play, put the music in the studio and kumbaya la in dancing. Yes, you will get better. If you put 100 hours in dancing, you will get better. But if you put 100 hours with a purpose,
Yeah, exactly. You're going to be more dangerous.
much more dangerous. And that's what I feel like sometimes this generation, they have a different approach because there's so many events and you can post a video, so you don't feel the urgency to get better. You don't feel the urgency that like, oh, I need to go to this event, because you can just post a video.
Yeah, and everybody gives you props. So you're like, oh, I'm getting the shine on you. So you do that again. It's kind of like where the TikTok dancers can come in, sort of thing. Like you see all these TikTok dancers have got like 1 million views, and you're like, they're not really dancing, but they're getting the shine. And then it's like dancers then think, well, why should I go to a battle if I can just do it online and get the same shit? Yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, social media has done that a little bit.
And another thing that I felt like that is super different now than before, it's that now everybody, like one track, everybody wants to do a video with the same track. Like we lost a little bit the individuality.
Yeah.
You know? And another thing that affects a lot hip hop is the fact that if you look at the music, back in the days you have groups. Wu-Tang, Bone Thugs and the Harmony, you know what I mean? Like much more groups. Far Side, like groups.
Das Effects.
Das Effects. It was groups. You get better, I get better. Now it's like, even you see singers, it's more solo artists.
Yeah. Crews are a thing of the past, like hip hop crews. Like if you look at like Mop Top and Elite Force, they were a crew. And they went around causing problems for everyone because there was a unit. They had someone for everyone. You know what I mean? Oh, that guy's got that move. Yeah, this guy can deal with this guy. And then it just, people wanted to join the crew because they were like, they're strong, and it's like.
I love crew battles. I love like, we have the same jacket in the crew. This guy is the power mover, this guy is the dancer. Like,
it's a war. It's going to war.
We go together. We have this unity. Like, that's why it was easy even to compete solo, because you never felt alone, because you have your crew.
Yeah.
You might be dancing 1 versus 1, but you have your crew. And nowadays, since the young cats have less the component of a crew, of course they are a little bit more shy to do battles because it's boom, all by yourself. It's just a different matter, a different perspective. It's a social issue.
If you want to check out one of Marcio's crew battles that he did, one of the ones that I remember, we're talking about it today. If you type in 2012 Ghetto Games, Marcio and Kashmir, and I think Dre was with you.
Yeah.
They were causing problems on that stage. It was so much fun, and you see the vibe and the energy in the battle when everyone's going out there. It's just like the whole full-on hip-hop like feel with the crew battle. So if you want to check that out, have a look for that on YouTube. That's amazing.
Watch Prototype and Plague.
They used to cause problems,
like,
bro.
for me, for people from UK,
it was Brooke, Roxy.
So Plague, had Brooke, Sean,
That's right.
Darms, Kamal,
Yes.
Roxy, Nat. Then like I went in, Frankie J,
Yeah.
you know, Dasha.
You
like
did
them.
that hip hop battle, I remember, on stage, and you smoked it was in France or something. I don't remember.
Oh, but that's like is the last. I would say this is the last generation of Plague.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
first generation had Nat did it from Ireland.
The
yeah,
first
Nat,
generation you
yeah.
have like Mukhtar.
Yeah, my God.
So I'm in the last generation of. But then you have Prototype was Super Malcolm, Brooke, Dixon,
Yeah.
Roxy,
Yeah.
Kashmir.
Yeah.
Oh, and Prototype was the only crew from UK to win Funky Styles. To
Yeah.
win SDK.
Yeah, you guys went out there and caused problems. Didn't you win the jump off as well? Did you win the jump off?
Yeah, they won. It wasn't me. Like
You weren't at the time, but yeah.
So I was around all the time with Prototype because some of the members of Prototype is members of Plague. So I always felt like that's my family. Like if Kashmir wouldn't dance, they still have Malcolm of Hiphop, but I couldn't jump in. So
Yeah.
for me, Plague is like that's my crew, and Prototype that's the family.
Yeah.
And that's what make us like go and compete overseas.
You guys were problems. You guys
man.
caused problems, man. Like, it was like
Putting
the UK back,
in the map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is like at the time of just after Trocadero, wasn't it? So like,
Yeah. 2010 to 2013. It
yeah,
was,
Trocadero. And that's why that's why the UK scene went crazy, because everybody was training together.
Yeah.
And like when Trocadero went, it honestly, Trocadero produced so much
wow.
talent. You know, even I know about that. But listen, we going on and on and on and on. Any advice to dancers coming up in 30 seconds?
Believe in yourself, keep moving forward. Fail. Fall 10 times, get up 11. That's my best advice. Don't be scared to fail. Fail as many times as you can, because the day that you win, the door is open and you keep moving forward.
Thank you, Marcio.
Right.
See you later, bro.